Happy holidays from ZNS TV 13.
Welcome back. Well, the Christmas holidays are fastly approaching, and that means the annual Junkanoo Parade is not far away. In preparation for the big cultural show, the Grand Bahama Junkanoo Committee held a 3-day workshop for all group leaders, marshals, and judges. Kimberly Mullings has the details.
The Grand Bahama Junkanoo Committee recently wrapped up a series of mandatory workshops, which included various presentations on music, costume, performance, and overall. Co-chairman of the local Junkanoo Committee, Allison Smith, says they are happy that they were able to host the workshops for the judges.
In the past years, we've had some challenges, but this year it came right off as according to plan. The Grand Bahama Junkanoo Committee's aim is to educate the judges, refresh a course, because we have new judges and we have seasoned judges. And pleasantly surprised this year is we have quite a bit of new judges, so the workshops are timely.
Smith added that the committee was thrilled to see the amount of young persons volunteering to serve as judges.
We want to encourage the young persons to come out and take part in this culture. What we're going to do is we're going to pair them up with veteran judges, so they won't be alone on the route.
Peter Jolkett of the Shell Saxon Superstars traveled to Grand Bahama and presented on the critical area of performance and overall. Jolkett, also a member of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, was pleased that the local committee invited him to participate in the training.
Junkanoo is our main cultural expression. The fact that it is means that the one thing we need from judges is that they become knowledgeable of what the groups are bringing in terms of their theme and through their synopsis, that they're able to assess exactly what they're here to judge and to do so honestly.
Chief Judge this year, Pamela Seymour, says the workshops have proven to be beneficial, and she's impressed with the number of new judges on board as well.
We have a lot of new judges, and they need to know all aspects of judging, so each one will know how to judge the particular groups, the different categories that they all have to judge.
After the workshops were completed, the judges were given an assessment to test their knowledge as they prepare for the parade. The committee also thanks their proud sponsor BTC, for without them the workshops would not have been possible. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
The Ministry of Tourism's religious tourism promotion expected to reap huge dividends in the months ahead as an international partner plans to involve Grand Bahama in a key celebration. Megan Shepard has this report.
I'm just truly grateful that God's people all over the world can embrace each other for the sake of the kingdom.
In 1998, the American Gospel Quartet Convention, headed by Reverend George Stewart, came to Grand Bahama for the first time. Since then, Reverend Stewart has become an unofficial Grand Bahamian thanks to the many friendships he's formed. During his most recent trip, Stewart took time to thank religious leaders for their assistance and hospitality extended during his visits. Next year, Stewart says he has big plans for his hometown of Alabama that he hopes could also take place on Grand Bahama.
We're gathering people from all over the world in what we call the arts. God calls it the creative nature of God. In the beginning, God what? Created. So we're bringing dancers, singers, culinary people, we're bringing visual artists, because there's oh my God, there's a stirring going on. And these people need to know that these gifts are beyond entertainment. I would like to bring a continued stirring of the arts piece here, to bring a vibrancy, let them experience the wonderful love of the people of the Bahamas, in particular Freeport.
Of those many friendships formed, Stewart says one in particular has become very meaningful. Derek Stubbs says the partnership with Stewart has been particularly beneficial to the island of Grand Bahama.
Through this organization, the Interdenominational Mass Choir had been formed. We formed the choir in 1999 as the Gospel Fest Choir, and shortly after that the name was changed to the Interdenominational Mass Choir, and we owed all to the vision of Dr. George Stewart.
Manager of Religious Tourism at the Ministry of Tourism, Debbie Heiler, says the relationship shared over the years has been most gratifying.
Many times people go away and they don't ever come back to say thank you. But I am so happy to know that you came back to say thank you to these mighty men and women of God.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. Well, the proclamation has been signed and Freeport now has a new sister city partner in Winston-Salem. Sharon Glover, a native of Grand Bahama, now resides in North Carolina. She says the city is pleased to be on board as a sister city of Freeport. She looks forward to the many benefits that will come about as a result of this relationship.
In terms of what that means for us is we have an opportunity to build some strong friendships with Freeport. We've had that with Nassau, but we're really excited about what we get to do with Freeport now. And in that friendship, we're hoping that we have an opportunity to connect around education, sports, commerce, and it's really about how these sister cities may have things in common and how we can deepen that relationship and then have it benefit a whole community on both sides of the aisle.
President of Sister Cities Freeport, Ann Bain, says it is exciting to partner with Winston-Salem. Freeport has already partnered with a number of cities, and the goal is to foster good relationships.
We're delighted as it relates to Winston-Salem to forge opportunities and programs between our two cities based on our specific shared interests in medical, sports, arts, commerce, and education. Our plans also call for the reconnection of our existing relationships with Newark, New Jersey, and Albany, New York.
Another appeal being made for a cancer care center on Grand Bahama tonight. A woman who is living with the disease is making the impassioned plea. Dulcie Darling is a young woman battling a vicious disease, stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. That means the cancer has moved from her breast to her lungs and now to the bones. Chemotherapy is necessary every week, and she has been traveling for treatment since February 2014.
Chemotherapy is expensive. I'm more of an advantage than many cancer patients because I have insurance. I also have family and friends who refuse to let me die because I cannot afford to pay for some sort of treatment or I cannot afford to pay for medication.
And even with all of that help, it is still difficult to make ends meet. In fact, Dulcie says she's living paycheck to paycheck.
You still have to pay a mortgage, you still have to pay for light, you still have to pay all of those necessities of life. And we have children. As a single parent, I still have to make sure that my daughter is educated so that she's able to take care of herself in the event of my demise.
Yet she is grateful because she says there are those who are not so fortunate.
Cancer is an expensive disease. I don't care what your station is in life. Cancer is going to suck every dime that you have. If you don't have family and friends who are going to assist you, if you don't have organizations like Sister, the Cancer Society, and I am sure there are many other organizations around Freeport, it is going to drain you.
She says this is why Grand Bahama needs a cancer center of its own.
An oncology center on Grand Bahama can ease the burden of many of us, even those of us with insurance. Insurance only lasts so long. It's going to run up, and at the rate I'm using my insurance, it's going to run up fast. And what do?
Dulcie says she believes a cancer center on Grand Bahama literally can mean the difference between life and death. And now it is time to ask the doctor.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Sherry from Nassau asks, I sometimes feel weakness or numbness in my hands. It comes and goes, but it seems to be happening more often than it used to. What could be causing this? Sherry, thank you for your question. Numbness in one or both hands describes a loss of sensation or feeling in your hand or fingers. It may be accompanied by other symptoms such as a pins and needles sensation, burning or tingling. The arm, hand, or fingers may feel clumsy or weak. The numbness you describe can be a complication of diabetes, damage, irritation, or compression of one of the nerves or a branch of one of the nerves in your arm and wrist. If your numbness is the result of injury, home treatments such as changing or avoiding activities that may be causing symptoms and wearing a wrist splint can bring some relief. A doctor may request an ultrasound, recommend a course of physical therapy to help restore full range of motion and strengthen the wrist and hands, or prescribe medications such as ibuprofen to help relieve pain and reduce inflammation. If there's nerve damage or the risk of nerve damage, surgery is sometimes recommended when other treatments have not helped. So before considering any treatment, including surgery, please see a doctor for a full physical and examination. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we return.